Welcome back. The Royal Life of Grace, your day of truth. Okay, I guess you could really call this a part two, but it's not. The Lord's continued to pour out to me this morning, and just the Father's heart. So where we left off about sin and the law and the separation there, and about grace, it continues on. And grace, see, it's always been about the Father's grace and His abundance. See, He created us. Started with Adam and Eve. He created us as His babies. Made us in His image and His likeness. 3 in 1. He gave all. He never withheld anything. He even gave a free will so that we were children and not slaves. Said, you eat over here, you're going to die. But if you stay and tend from the abundance that I've given you, and I've given you all, you'll live. They even gave him the tree of life. A lamb was slain before the foundations. It's always been as a father that his children would stay and walk with him in the cool of the day and tend from the abundance, seeing that he spared nothing, enjoying his relationship and that they would never want for anything, being in his presence, rejoicing in his goodness, to partake of his love and then thus overflow back with it to himself. Relationship. And it was all given out of His grace. He created them. They hadn't done anything to earn or deserve any of it. But He's never withheld any good thing. Anything at all, actually. So, why doesn't the Father want us to do things like worry? Why are all these things sin, which means a fall from grace? Well, they're just that. They're a fall from grace. So when you do these things, it means you've rejected His abundance. You've rejected Papa. You've rejected all that He's provided for you and think on your own. You've come in with a root of pride to think you know better, you being the clay, He being the potter, Him being the perfect Father that never spared anything from you. That you're just going to go off on your own. So it's, first of all, He knows there's death and destruction there because He knows what you're made from, and it was His breath that gave you life. Hello. And as a father loves his children, anything that would come in like a cancer and destroy them or eat them, then He's going to hate, because it kills His babies, the ones He did not spare anything for, and He gave all, including His own life and blood Son for. So anything that takes you out of His grace, which is unmerited, undeserved, unearned favor, out of His abundance, destroys you. It is a rejection of Him. It is a rejection of the fact that He gave all for you. The enemy is there. Pride is there, and pride comes before a fall. Death is there. And He's the perfect Father. So Abba's heart has always been about providing, being our Father, our source. As being, we're His babies. He delights in all He has given. He delights in us. He is supposed to be our source. After all, He is our Creator. He is our Father. He's never spared anything for us. He always gave us all. Anything outside of Him destroys us. It is a rejection of Father, it's our Creator, to go away from Him. It's pride, and pride comes before a fall. Just like parents here, and we are obviously just dust, or fallen. We're nothing in ourselves. But think about those that have really, loved their children. And your children, may have rejected you. It rejected how you raised them. If you raised them to point to the Lord, rejected all the things that you worked hard to provide for them. Everything that you've given for them, and says, you know what, I think it's all nothing. Give me whatever you're going to give me and let me leave now, because I don't want anything to do with you. Or when children are like, you really, Mom, Dad, whatever it is that your position is, it just really doesn't, it's not really worth much to me, or when they go off on their own, maybe they get into things that'll destroy them, drugs, alcohol. I mean, put yourself in all these different places. How you feel as a parent, first of all, watching your babies destroy themselves, knowing what's on that side, knowing what they're doing and where it leads. It hurts them. And so because it hurts them, it hurts you. They're part of you. You're part of them. You think of all of how, moms, you nurse them, and you've held their hand from the beginning, that came out of your womb. Come on now. Fathers, you think about all the nights that you lost sleep, of all the times you worked over to provide, and they just walk away. As if what you did was nothing, as if they know better, they have a better way. They do those things that are destroying their life. How do you feel? And see, we're dust. He's our Creator God. He is also our Redeemer. He spared nothing for us. From the beginning, the Lamb was slain. From the beginning, He gave all. Be blessed, multiply, fill the earth, have dominion, subdue it. I've given you everything. It's good for food, pleasing to the eye. If you eat of this tree over here, you have the choice, but if you do, you're going to die. But if you tend from where I've given you all abundance, if you stay here and you eat from the tree of life, you trust me, you have relationship with me, and you eat and have dominion and subdue the earth, you stay over here in the abundance and don't try to go your own way, reasoning in your dust, then you nothing will be spared for you. But the enemy being the enemy, knowing the dust, and the choice. He can get you, plant that seed out, and get you to start reasoning in your dust brain. Then he can steal your heritage, your inheritance, and take your dominion, ears to hear. He can pervert your blessing. You be cursed. Hello. He uses pride because he fell from a root of pride. War is over that seed. The battle's been won. Jesus is your tree of life. You have the choice. You're in the garden. There's 2 trees still to choose from because Jesus gave you a choice when it was taken from Adam and Eve. See, it was forfeited and nobody had a choice. They were all born up under it. But now you can be reborn under the incorruptible seed by faith. Grace through faith. Believe in Jesus Christ and His finished work. Enter His rest. It is finished. Stay in the abundance of Papa. Don't go off in your own reasoning because the devil's there. There's a lie there. Doubt is there, and that's how he steals your inheritance. That's how he robs, steals, and kills, and that destroys you. He's a murderer. He's a thief. Satan is after your inheritance, your heritage, your life, eternal soul. Hello. If he can get you reasoning, then he can get you to buy that doubt seed. He can get you under that pride because he knows the dust. See, because he eats from the dust. But if you eat from the tree of life, you come up under, reborn in Christ Jesus, and receive His finished work on the cross, you can come into Papa's arms. And you can just tend from the abundance and let Him be your source for everything. You enter His rest because it is finished. The work is finished. You're spotless. Let Papa be Papa and you just be the delighted child of God, heir of God. Join heir with Christ, spotless. Walk with Him in the cool of the day. Have relations with Him, intimacy. Build trust. You can trust Him because He didn't spare His own blood for you. Because He left His throne and His word and came and bled for you. Hello? He's always given of abundance, and it's all about Him wanting you to stay in grace. Stay in His abundance because there is life and life abundant. That's why He came. That's why you were made to have life and life abundant. Anything outside of your Creator, anything that is of that dust is death. And a good father, doesn't want his babies to die. So He laid down His life so that you could live. Choose life today. This has been your day of truth.